Hi everyone, this is Miss Crowley, and today I'm going to walk you through the worksheet Rectangle Mania, Practice Finding Length, so that you can check your answers from your independent practice from yesterday. So you had 4 problems to solve on your own. Before we get to those 4 problems, I just want to review with you the example. So remember, before we get to the example, I just want to remind you that the formula for finding area is multiplying the width times the length. That's going to give you the amount of space that rectangle takes up. And remember, I'm going to use my highlighter here. The width is the shortest side of the rectangle. The length is the longest side of the rectangle. So when we're finding the missing length, we want to use what we already know. So use the information that's given to you. So looking at our example here, we know the area is 80. We plugged that in to the information that we know. We know that the width is 8. Plug that into the information that we already know. So what we are trying to find out is the length. That's our missing information. So we're going to use the formula area equals width times length to plug in what we know to find the missing length. So area equals 80, which equals the width times the length. So the width we know is 8, which we're multiplying by something to get the length. That's our missing piece of information. So therefore, the length equals, we can use division to find that missing length. So we're going to divide 80, the total area, by 8, the width, to find the length, which equals 10. So this division problem is set up as a fraction, 80 over 8. And remember, a fraction just means division. It's the same thing as setting up a division problem. You could, if you were not sure what 80 divided by 8 equals, that is a reflex fact, but if you weren't sure of it, you could use a calculator to type in the division problem 80 divided by 8, which would give you the missing length of 10 feet. If you want to check your work, you can multiply using the formula that we know. So we know that area equals width times length, and if we're given the width of 8 and we found the length to be 10, when we multiply that, do we get the area that they're giving us? So 8 times 10 is 80. That's the area that they give us. So we know that our length must be correct. It must be 10 feet. So let's move on to our problems now. So for number 1, the area is 45 square feet. So I'm going to write that in the information that we know. The width they give us as 5 feet. So we're going to use the formula to plug in that information. So the area is 45, which equals width 5 times length. We don't know what length equals yet. So just like the example did, we are going to set up a division problem. So 45 divided by 5 equals, and if you know this as a reflex fact, you know 5 times 9 equals 45. So 45 divided by 5 equals 9. You could also type that into a calculator to check your work. Let's make sure that our length and our width equal the area. So we know the width was 5 feet. We found 9 to be the length. So 5 times 9 equals 45, which matches the area they gave us. So we know that that's correct. Let's move on to number 2. In number 2, the area they give us is 75. The width is 5. So using the formula area, 75 equals the width 5 times our missing length. To figure out that missing length, we're going to turn our formula into a division problem. So the total area, 75, divided by the width 5, will give us our length. If you're not sure what 75 divided by 5 is, type it into a calculator to figure it out, and it would give you 15. Let's check it. Our length, 15, times our width, 5, If we multiply that, we get 75, which matches the area that they give us. So we know that our length is correct at 15 feet. Okay, let's move on to number 3. Our numbers are getting a little bit bigger, so let's just make sure that we're checking our work to make sure our multiplication and our division is correct. So our area is 180 square feet. Our width is 12. When we plug that information into our formula, we have our area 180, which equals the width 12 times the length, which we don't know yet. So we're setting up a division problem using the total area, 180 divided by 12. And those are some big numbers. That is not a reflex fact that I would expect you to know. So in this problem, I would encourage you to check your work using a calculator to make sure that you're getting the right answer. So 180 divided by 12, if you type that into a calculator, you should get 15. To check our work, we're going to multiply the width, 12, times the length, 15. When we multiply that on the calculator, you should get 180, which is equal to the area they gave us. So we know that 15 is the correct length, 15 feet. All right, let's move on to the last one, number 4. They are telling us that the area is 98 square feet. They're telling us that the width is 7. So let's fill that information into the formula. The area, 98, equals the width 7 times that missing length. Therefore, we are going to use division to solve for the missing length. So 98, the total area, divided by the width 7 will give us our missing length. And again, if you need to type that into a calculator to check your work, you can. It should give you the answer. 98 divided by 7 is 14 feet. Let's check to make sure our answers are correct. So, using the formula. So length, which we found to be 14, times the width 7 should give us the total area. So if we need to, we can type that into a calculator. 14 times 7 equals 98, which matches the area they gave us. So we know our answer is correct. At this time, you should have answers that match mine. Your answers should be correct. You should have checked them and fixed them. And now you're ready to submit them to the assignment for today to show me that you've checked your answers. Thanks for following along.